What is going on? I'm live. It's about 1 p.m. Saturday here in sunny Perth, Western Australia, and it's definitely sunny and it's definitely hot. So that's kind of why I'm indoors at the moment and not at the beach, because it's like too hot to even go out. Where is everybody tuning in from? I see some people from Germany and some people from the States, and where else? Looks like Germany and the States at the moment. Texas, North Carolina. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Fire some questions my way if you're feeling like it, and I'll do my best to provide coherent answers. Hamer looks like a 76 Ibanez Destroyer, big time, you know. Lightning bolt. This one's super thick. I think it's like 58 Gibson Explorer spec, except for the Steinberger tuners on it, which is pretty cool. Acapulco, Mexico. Awesome, man. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in California, and yeah, hope everyone's having a good day. I got this guitar in 2008 in Sydney, which is funny. I was over there for a university project and walked into Jackson's Rare Guitars, which is no longer with us, and yeah, bought this new. It was the first new guitar I'd ever bought, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. Currently using the Axe, yeah. Let me show you my preset so that people can enjoy picking it apart. Let me see, how do I do this? I know how to do this. I think I do a window capture. Here we go. Hopefully Axe Edit pops up. I might have to tweak this very, very quickly. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. And is it showing up? It's not showing up. How disappointing. Let me fix this, everybody. Maybe it'll show up now. Right over my face. Like magic. Not like magic, because it's not working. Strings, Elixir, 10 to 52s on this one. I've got a few guitars with DRs, which are 11 to 54, which I really like. I might grab one of them in a second. I'm going to have to fix this. 1 second. How do I delete this? Let's get rid of that. And let's add a window capture. The way I would do that is go on here and come on over here, and we'll do that one. Hopefully this works. Hopefully you can all see Axe Edit now. It's exciting. So yeah, 10 to 52, so you can hear. Tiny amount of buzz. It's pretty good. I haven't done a specific setup on this for drop C. There we go. It's catching up. Awesome. Let me just minimize this a little bit. So this looks like it's got a lot going on, but there's actually not really a lot going on. Let me walk you through what's happening. I'm going to turn a bunch of stuff off. So just don't pay attention to this top row here. And I'll walk you through what each thing does. The core kind of tone is USA lead mid gain, so it's a model of the Boogie Mark IV on the lead channel, mid gain setting. You know, those who know when it comes to Mark series stuff. Nothing too special happening there. No real deep tweaks, except for I think I changed the speaker impedance curve, which isn't super interesting. There's a few fun parameters here which you can do to kind of fine tune that, but you know, it's all fine. That's what I'm using there, using one of my own cabinets. You can get this one for free. Just check the video description. Get a WAV file of it, LTTV Mix 7. It's a Marshall cab with greenbacks, 3 different mics, captured an IR of that, and there's no high cuts or low cuts in there. So this is pretty, this is pretty in your face and pretty fizzy to start with. What I'll then do is I'll bring in this parametric EQ that I use live to kill a bunch of low end and high end and just do some kind of surgical cuts in here, and then some multi-band compression, purely to tame the low end a little bit. So I'll run you through each of those, and I'll mute my microphone so you can just hear the individual elements there for the amp tone. So that's pretty much it. And then, I mean, because I'm playing in stereo at the moment, and stereo is fun. A little bit of reverb, just a London plate. You can hear that. And then pitch detune, because pitch detune. And after the reverb, it sounds different before the reverb or after the reverb. Kick that one in. So yeah, that's what's happening there. For the there's also a gate on there just to tighten things up a little bit. And what do we have? Lead sound kicks in this over here, the multi-tap delay with big stereo delay. And for the rhythmic delay scene, there is a delay block doing, as you might guess, a rhythmic delay. And then the other scene that I use sometimes, it's a rotary speaker on top of that rhythmic delay sound. Just for some wobble. So that's the main thing. I've got a clean thing on here going on where the amp is muted and it's using, this parametric EQ is here to kind of turn my humbuckers into single coils. Then there's this little Rockman style ensemble up here with I think a bit of chorus from using the multi-tap delay as a chorus. That's kind of fun. So you get this. That's pretty much what's going on with that entire patch. So yes, I am using the Axe effects. That's my long-winded way of saying that. This is the sort of thing that I would use live. If I'm playing mono, I turn this pitch block off because it's not going to do anything. And otherwise, pretty straightforward stuff. And I just muted myself, which is not what we want. There we go, I'm back. Excellent. Let me check the chat and see what's going on. So yeah, Boomer Custom Lights 946, very nice. 6 AM in Italy, style of the last John Sykes album. Oof. Some good old John Sykes. Still have the AX8. I don't have the AX8 anymore. I don't think there's a new Sykes album, but he released a couple of singles. Yeah, you might like. I'm not going to play this whole song. I can play the whole song, but there's a very particular part of the opening track on Ragdoll's Back to Zero album. It's called Shine, and the ending, I wanted to do something that sounded like Valley of the Kings by Blue Murder. And it doesn't sound like Valley of the Kings by Blue Murder, but I'll play you that section anyway for all the Sykes fans. It's pretty fun. Check this out.
We are this from my eyes. We are waiting for the sun to shine. Shed my skin with darkness from my eyes. No more tears to cry.
So yeah, that's about as close to that kind of thing as we got. I played a track called Save Me earlier, which has a kind of, which to me kind of reminds you of that. There's a little bit of that DNA in there. Everything I play, I think there's a bit of that Sykes thing, because I love John's playing so much. Yeah, so there you go. Morning from North Germany. So we've got a lot of people from Europe. I imagine it's like a decent time of the evening over there, or maybe it's super early in the morning. It's obviously super early in the morning, so Europeans obviously get up and maximize their weekend. That's awesome. So yeah, that's for all the Sykes nuts. Somebody was talking about strings. So yeah, I have 10 to 52s on this. I'm going to play this guitar some more, so I will just non-precariously put it over here and use it like a coffee table for a second. Let's grab this guitar. So this is the first PRS I ever had. Oh, and I've been playing around with 11 to 54s on this. Needs to be tuned, kids. So yeah, I've got some DRs on this. They do I think they call it DDT, so it's like a drop-down tuning set. Feels pretty balanced, feels really nice on here. I've got the same set on my McCarty as well, so I think because the Elixirs 10 to 52s are coded, they're actually like a tiny little bit thicker than they're advertised. I'm probably totally wrong there, but these feel a little more in line with that. So yeah, it works pretty well. Sounds pretty good. This guitar probably needs a refret, but it keeps swinging. It's probably got the lowest action of any of my guitars as well, which is awesome. Let me just give you some... I'll let you hear the bridge pickup. So the bridge pickup's a custom 5, a Duncan. Really like that. Neck pickup is a McCarty neck pickup. And they sound pretty good. And you can split them, which is nice. Something like that anyway. So yeah, this one's got the 11s on it. Very, very cool. I really, really like playing this guitar. This guitar, when did I take this? When we toured Europe, this was the only guitar I took, and I like it because I can kind of restring it faster than any of my other guitars. It's just really non-fussy. So we did 10, 11 shows. I think I changed the strings twice, which is pretty awesome. One right before we played a festival in the south of France, so that was like, it's one of those, I need to change my strings, I'll do it in the morning. We don't really have time in the morning, I'll do it as soon as we get there. As soon as we got there, ended up, you get to Eurocom and you do a bunch of stuff, so it wasn't until we were backstage and I was sort of going like, I need to change my strings. So luckily I did it and we had a really, really fun gig, so that was kind of cool to take this guitar on the road. It's been all around Australia actually. I've done a lot of gigs on it here, especially over east, and it's held up pretty well. It's there's no fancy carbon fiber or anything like that in there, but it's been very, very stable, which I like. Whoever use active pickups. Excellent segue into talking about the other guitar I have with 11s, my McCarty, which has some Fishman Fluences. Let's do that. All right. And I'll tune this one. So yeah, these are the Fluence Classics. They sound good, They don't really sound like active pickups. Sure, I could get away with a JB and a Jazz in this guitar and it'd be perfectly cool. This one also in drop C, as the other guitars have been. Hey, Carl is in the chat. The Grease King. What is up, mate? Okay, so what do we have? Let's hear this clean. Tiny amount of buzz on this one in drop C. I haven't set it up for the 11s, I only just put them on, but So that, man, that is such an 80s clean, isn't it? So these, with a chunky sound, I mean, they're nice and quiet, which is always good when you're playing with gob tons of gain. That delay, Carl, you'll be pleased to know is... That's not a 2290. Let me put a 2290 on, just so we can hear that sound with maybe like a panning 2290 thing. Let's do that. This is going to be fun. There we go. That's ridiculous. Now, what's that? What am I doing? That comp is just a little bit clicky with this guitar. I'm using a feedback compressor, and they actually just overhauled everything in the axe. So let me use a feed-forward compressor and set the ratio to maybe 5. That's better. So good. Let's hear my lead sound with the panning 2290 as well, just for fun. This is gonna be pretty awesome. Let me just mute my microphone so we can hear it. I'll let you hear it without the 2290 and then with it. That is a very special effect, isn't it? That's so cool. I missed a few questions. Vicious Rumours, underappreciated. I really only know about Vicious Rumours because didn't Vinnie Moore play on one of their albums kind of when he first came to LA? I don't know. Feel free to correct me. We had a question. Does the axe have the 1210 chorus? There is one of the users on the forum and someone I've corresponded with quite a bit. This guy called Nicholas is in Sweden. Is very adept at measuring stuff, and they measured a 1210 or the 1210 plugin one way or another, and it's, yeah, check this out. So where are we? Let me bring up this. If anyone who doesn't know where the 1210 chorus is, you go to the multi-tap delay block, and in the types there is a 1210 type, which is pretty awesome. I'll reset this channel, bring up the 1210 type, mix it in. Let's do that. So I'll let you hear that, and then I'll add grease. Pretty cool. Verb, still really big reverb. And then pitch detune on top of all of that. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot. And you can tweak it a little bit, and, you know, the 1210 is obviously one of those things that has knobs, so there's a lot of different settings on there you may set out to emulate. I'll get this out of my face. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty cool. 1210 sounds great. I really, really like it. Maybe I'll try this setting on it. That's cool. Carl, no, but I've met plenty of dudes, put it that way. Do you play any of the Gretsch guitars, and if so, what model? No, but my dad, the very elusive Bill Todd, he actually built a replica White Falcon, which I may have shown in like one video on the channel, but yeah, I'll have to bring that out. Doobie Brothers chords, yeah, exactly. Plenty of those like. That kind of thing. I really should have played that better. I've only played that song a million times in my life before. Let's see, where are we at? Am I going into a Fractal or a Helix? Fractal. I got the Axfex 3 dialed in at the moment. And Heavy Brettle is in the comments. Hope you're having a great day, mate, and I'd love to know more about your DIY sustainer or sustainiac that you built. That detune added the character. Yeah. So here's your quick and easy way. On any device, if you want to get an 80s clean, you take a tilt filter, set the frequency to around 1600 hertz. Let me bring this up so you can see that. And this is going to it's going to stop the low end blowing out the compressor. Then slap on your favorite compressor, slap on a chorus of some sort. I've got the 1210 style thing. But then you've got to put pitch detune on top of the chorus. Just pitch detune. Just chorus. Both. That's what we want. That is what we want big time there. So that's pretty cool. Where am I? There we go. We're back. Excellent. Let me close this window. Did I see the name Chris Oliva in the comments? Yes. There we go. Some sabotage, please. Yeah. Oh, yes. I actually was sitting down 2 days ago and relearning a bit of this one. Let me mute my mic. such a good song. Such a great tone, such a great player. Taken too early. What do we got? Pitch detune is definitely where it is at. Power of the Night. Oh man, how does that one... Let me refresh my memory with this one, because I might be confusing it with another song. I'm going to cheat and just look it up really quickly. That's right. Hear a little bit of buzz on that string, can't you? So, Power of the Night rules, man, all that stuff is so good. Would recommend, if no one has heard Sabotage before, go and check it out. Ah, there we go. You guys can see the cat. So this is Lupin. We adopted 2 cats in August, I want to say. So he's just getting in there, cleaning his beans, having a chew, hanging out in the back of the video. Aren't you, buddy? He's a little bit shy, so we won't disturb him too much. Yeah, big wolfy looking boy, so there you go.
What about the other one?
Oh, I'm sure people don't mind a bit more cat fuzz. Here we go. Da 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 da. Ah, she's gone. Anyone who caught my last live stream would have caught a don't go anywhere. Be famous. There you go. Second cat. Not happy to be on here as she was the other day. Yeah. Well, we were saying the other day, it's like, yeah, you know, we're just suckers. We didn't adopt 1 cat, we adopted 2. Anytime they're just ripping around the house, chasing each other, it's like, I guess we chose this. Verb on the rhythm playing. Exactly, Carl. Exactly. I tried to match the PCM70 rich plate, actually, on here. Let's have a listen to it. You want to hear some big... Maybe the mix is a little bit high on there. Let's bring it down a bit, but, you know... You want that? Oh, I reckon I can bring the mix up a little bit. Let's hear that without my microphone on. I like that reverb a lot. Another reverb, well, 2 reverbs I've been playing around with a lot. Let me see if I can patch this in really quickly. Let's do that. This one, the UA Golden, really, really good. You know, there's a few aspects of the overall way it runs, like presets and no MIDI and stuff like that. That's a little bit annoying, but the actual sounds coming out of it are so good. And I got a PCM70 recently, which is amazing as well. The rich plate on there is so good on guitars. Let me do this. Let me bring this in parallel. I'm smart, I can do this. What is it on? Input 3 and 4. So bear with me for 1 second. And there's like a Lexicon 224 mode on this UA Golden that sounds pretty amazing. I might even say it sounds better than the UA 224 plugin. Sounds like they've got the sound of the converters and all that sort of stuff happening, which is pretty cool. I better make sure the mix is at 100% there. That's delay. Let's turn that off. Ah, I've got these the wrong way around. Idiot. Whoa, there we go. That's what I want. You can hear the like kind of crackle on the decay. That's too much mix, but so this is a really cool one as well. I'll let you hear that. It's got that big thing going on, and then you put pitch detune on top of that, and you get this. Which is pretty awesome. Is it necessary? Probably not. Is it fun? Immensely. So that's a large chamber in the axe. Bring the time up a little bit on it. I mean, that sounds incredible as well. So yeah, you probably don't need one if you've got an Axe FX, but man, it's fun. That's amazing for lead stuff. So good. You can have 2 reverbs at the same time if you want. Cascade them. Why not? More is more, after all. Since you're on Lynch Mob, only Logan or Robert Mason? I like Robert Mason. If I just had to pick a singer in general, I think I like Robert Mason's voice a little bit better, but I like Oni with Lynch Mob that tiny little bit more, just because of Wicked Sensation. So good. What pickups are those? These are Fishman Fluence Classics in here. Someone asked about active pickups before, so that's what's going on there. And you know, with all the who said this? Mickey Licky 52. All that stuff, it's just cumulative. You know, when you have the tools, it helps to learn how to use them. So a lot of this stuff is, you know, when it comes to tweaking Mark Series amps and EQs and all that kind of stuff, it comes with time. And you know, Carl, who's in the chat, send him some love, who is one of my students, which is amazing because Carl's an amazing sound engineer as well. It's like the number of things that I picked up where he's like, oh, hey, you should run detune after reverb. Sounds so good. So thank you, Carl. If your tone ain't got room tone, it probably sucks. Yeah, probably. What gain stages in detune chorus? I'm looking forward to Cloudburst. Yeah. That I was just watching I just watched the Strymon videos for Pete. I love watching Pete Selly talk about sound design and how the pedals work. It's whether you like their pedals or not, whether you own them or not, you can learn something from those videos. So yeah, Pete's amazing. So what am I doing? What gain stages and detune chorus? I was just talking about it before. I'll give you a very, very quick sneak peek because not everyone's always on at the same time, which is fair enough. Dun-dun-dun-dun. So the general gist of it is this. The Mark Series model, the Mark IV model in the Axe FX for all the gain. And then I've got, well, a couple of ways you can do the detune stuff in the Axe FX. This in here is a dual chromatic pitch shifter. This is, we're going there. We're going super nerdy with this. So I've got an H3000. I was talking earlier about my buddy Nicholas, who's helped me measure all this stuff. The detune, just the dual detune type in the Axe sounds great. I think it sounds far smoother and more detailed than the old Eventides, but the old Eventides have a bit of character in them that is, you know, because they're not perfect, so they have character, so you kind of like that. And I'll roll through a couple of the blocks that we match to different hardware. There's a few Eventide blocks and a few Yamaha SPX blocks, and then just the Axe detune. They all sound great, but they all sound a little bit different. Check this out. I'm going to go through the different blocks. There's 2 different detune patches on the Eventide based on factory presets. There's an SPX 90 detune and then the Axe detune. So we'll do the 2 Eventides, then the Yamaha, then the Fractal one. Alright, going to turn the reverb off for it though. Okay, so a few observations. You can, well, what's cool about, say, the Fractal detune is, you basically get what you put in. It's very, very accurate. 9 cents is 9 cents. On some of the older units, 9 cents is like 9.3 cents and stuff like that. You can also set the delay times to 0, so you have a very low latency pitch detune. Which sounds good, but the old Yamaha, like if you look at the pitch change C block we've got here, about 12 milliseconds of latency on each voice, which is interesting. The old Eventides, there's one of the presets has like a 25 millisecond offset on there, so they're pretty accurate. But the SPX was definitely not super accurate, which is fine. It's old hardware; those things happen. But the big thing, and the reason we're using this dual chromatic type in here, is if you look at just the dual detune, the parameters are straightforward and you can add some modulation. But you can't change the way the pitch detector works, and the way a digital pitch shifter works, or the way the old ones work, is they would record a sample, change, they would change the pitch by kind of changing the playback speed, and then they would splice it together so you'd have like an interpolation and crossfade in there. And if you listen to an old Eventide on patch 231, you can hear the whoop, whoop kind of little interpolations. But there's another pitch shift program on there called Dual Shift, which is a lot smoother. They use a different crossfade algorithm in there. So you can't change that on the dual detune here. It's just set, and it sounds really, really good. You really don't need anything more in your life. But if you're trying to copy, like, say, an old Eventide or something like that, if you use this dual chromatic mode, you go to the master section and you can change the pitch tracking, so the way that crossfading works. This is really interesting because you can turn the pitch tracking off and have a listen to what happens if I set tracking on 10 or on 0. This is pretty cool. Let me mute my mic for this one. So you can actually emulate the crappiness of old hardware with that tracking parameter. Straight down the absolute bottom of the barrel there. Does it matter? Probably not. It doesn't make a difference. It does. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool, I think, that you can kind of accurately represent some of the old hardware that way. You know, obviously you can't like access the source code on these things, but you do have these parameters which kind of let you hack into it. So, yeah, pretty cool. Another pretty cool thing, just while we're here, let me do this. I'm going to end up butchering this patch, but that's fine. You know, like, people kind of talk a lot about old converters and 12-bit stuff and old reverbs. Let me kick this reverb in for you. And one trick you can do is to run a limiter before the reverb. So limiter, compressor with infinite ratio, basically. Let me do this one for you. And hopefully it's not going to blow the gain up too much. So here's a verb on its own. Well, it should be on its own. Why is that? This is muted. Turn the pitch detune off. Very, very smooth decay. Hit a limiter in front of it. You kind of get this like blowing up thing. I need to turn that up. I'm going to turn this right up so you can hear it. Hear the crust. And then without it. Smooth. Sounds like a room, but with this, very, very different. So that's kind of a fun thing you can do in here as well. You can emulate all this kind of old crappiness, which is pretty awesome. And I just realized that I didn't have Accent set as a screenshot. So you just have to trust me that I was doing those things. Let's see, do we have any more questions? Yeah, I'm just administering the, hey, how cool is it that you can do this? Have you seen Rosh Roslin's channel? I have. Rosh is amazing, great player, great programmer, sound designer, would recommend subscribing. So what do we have here? You know how the 480 is so praised? I'll take a 960 anytime. The pedal sounded better than a 224. Well, there you go. I've seen people who say they hate the 960 and it doesn't sound like a 224 at all. Maybe that's kind of the point. As always with this stuff, you just use the thing that inspires you the most. You know, reverb pedals at the moment are fixated with the 224 algorithm, which is fair enough, and it's got a sound, but you know, it's not the be-all and end-all of reverb. For example, things that a 224 cannot do. Lots of things. Like in the Axe, let me bring this up. Well, it can't do reverb into pitch detune for one. But, you know, like pitched reverbs. Obviously, that's like, you know, the kind of Eno Lenoir thing. You use it with other stuff. But, I mean, just have a listen to how ridiculous this reverb sounds. Let me bring my clean sound up on here. Check this out. I'll just bring the mix down for a second. Furthermore, on top of that, you can set where you put the pitch shift in the like reverb network. Do you want it in the feedback? Do you want it in the like reflection matrix? Do you want modulation on it? Do you want a combination of forward and reverse? It all sounds different. It all sounds pretty great. And then also you could just do, where's my clean sound? All right, I got that reverb off. Pop another reverb in. You know, you want a drippy spring reverb? You can do that as well. So yeah, good old Axe FX has got an amazing amount of stuff that it can do in there. So sky's the limit with that stuff. I'll play you, since we're on this like ambient kick, I have this patch in here called Tape Loops where you assign, what do? You assign a square wave LFO to the motor speed parameter of a quad tape delay. So it's going to do some old school pitch shifting stuff. You run that into a long delay and this Plex reverb type, and you get this. Which is pretty awesome. So that's a whole lot of fun to be had as well. Where am I in the chat? Are you planning to do any more videos about John Sykes? Definitely. I need to do a Blue Murder 5 killer riffs at some point. This is Jay Boland, getting rid of my Dream 65 center board to come back to Fractal. I miss them. Welcome back, Jay Boland. There's some fun stuff. I'm kind of curious. How did you like the Dream 65? Because I've tried the Ruby and I really liked it. I thought, you don't want to go to these kind of depths. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, if you spend a little bit of time with the Axe, you can do some super fun stuff. Here's another one. I had a Strymon Volante for a while. Played around with the quad tape delay in here, and you get this. Let me kill my mic on here for a sec. So yeah, this is mind-numbingly awesome. What other fun tricks do we have in here? I'll go back to my stereo patch. This chorus here was matched to my 2290, set up as a chorus, and does a phase reverse thing. If you have the phase reverse off, still sounds really good, but when you kick the phase reverse on, oh, it's good. So much fun. So much fun to be had. I'm getting massively sidetracked and I'm not complaining. Where are we? It's called Origami Yoda series by Tom Engelberger. There you go. That is the origin of the phrase stooky. Very stooky word in itself. Well, I hope you're recovering, mate. The old COVID is not very fun, especially if you've had it like twice in quick succession. That sucks. Alright, we're back. Can anyone else see this fly just hovering around me? It landed on my big schnoz before. Let's see. What other fun things can we do? Yeah, I've never actually tried the deco. I like that tape saturation and detune thing. I'm going to play a tune for you guys. I'm going to put some of this stuff into action. I'm going to play Playing God, because that's a fun one. Not the Polyphia song, and not the Paramore song, the Ragdoll song, which came out in between those two songs. So, play this for you all. the intro music for my channel as well, for anybody who would have picked up on that one, from that one. Yeah, so anyone who pointed out the flame on this PRS, this is a one-piece top. There you go. Hopefully that shows up nicely on there. One-piece top, one-piece back, which I haven't really seen before, so this is a bit of a unicorn. Alrighty, love to hear Follow the Leader. Alrighty, I can wrangle that one. What I'm going to do is actually play you all out on that, because I'm going to split. It's nearly 2 p.m. here. You know, it's hot, but I still have a bunch of other things to do here today. Hope you all have an awesome drop C for the tuning, for anyone who was wondering. I hope you all have an awesome day. I'll play you all out with this. You know, come and chat on Discord. It's linked in the video description. If you want my IRs, they're linked in the video description. You can find all my presets. And this fly is really having a good time. Oh, there's one more question here. Let's see. Yeah, take a sip of your beverage during the during the verse. Exactly. Exactly. We had a question about the mighty Eventide Eclipse. You can definitely do a lot of this stuff on the Eclipse. The Eclipse lets you run 2 effects at once, so it's an amazing unit. Some great ambient presets on there. The axe is incredible as well. So, yeah. If you've got an Eclipse, try it out. There's a program on the Eclipse called Manifold Beta, which my favorite kind of sound-on-sound looping thing. So, alright, I'm going to play you all out with a song called Follow the Leader by Ragdoll. All the music's linked in the video description if you're feeling generous. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll see you all next time. Let's